Yellow Spine DAW Science Fiction. DAW, D-A-W, means Donald A. Wollheim, the editor and founder of DAW Books. Hi, I'm Gary Lovisi, and thanks to the videos of Kenny, who is a DAW collector in England, I have a new appreciation of DAW books. I was collecting them when they first came out in 1972 with number one, the Andre Norton Which World book. And here in the United States, the DAW books were all over the place. And I was collecting them. I always had a lot of them. What happened was in 2013, we had a little thing over here called Hurricane Sandy. 2012. We had a little thing here called Hurricane Sandy. And most of my science fiction collection was destroyed. And so I have not been able to, continue collecting them. It was just too much to go through all of that again. I have some books that I've collected and rebought over the years, certain favorites and stuff, and then I have some DAW books that I have come across. They all have the distinctive yellow spine. They all have the DAW equals SF and the collector number, okay, on the cover. And the collector number is interesting because Wollheim set these books up, designed them for collectors, giving them numbers and knowing that people would want to fill in the numbers and collect them. I was going to collect the first 500, and I had a pretty good group of them up to that time. But and those are all gone now, and I cannot collect them again. I cannot go through them again. And the prices and stuff is a little too much, too hard to find some of them. But I find some every once in a while. They have great cover art. I mean, they have Michael Whalen and Don Mates and many other favorite artists and favorite authors. I collect the Michael Moorcock books, the Elric books that DAW published, like the Jack Vance books, the E.C. Tubb, Doomers of Terror. There's 31 books in the series, and I published the 32nd book because it was only published in France, and then I came out with it as a Gryphon book many years later. I like the Alan Burt Akers and Dre Prescott books. There's 31 or so of those. They have great cover art. They're very much in the Edgar Rice Burroughs tradition. That was Ken Bulmer, British author who did those. There's the Cap Kennedy series, another great science fiction adventure pulp series by Gregory Kern. That was E.C. Tubb and others. So there's just so much. There's a lot of anthologies. I did not collect anthologies. I don't like anthologies actually, unless they're specifically geared to a certain topic like H.P. Lovecraft or something like that. But they're kind of like magazines in paperback. Although I do collect magazines that are printed in paperback. So like Weird Tales has paperback issues. British New Worlds was published in paperback, so I collect those. Before I show you these, I'm going to show you a book that has annoyed me for a long time, and it's Future and Fantastic Worlds by Sheldon Jaffrey. Now, Sheldon was a guy that was at a lot of science fiction shows and conventions, and a very nice guy, very approachable guy, and a collector of DAW books, and he wrote this book. It's a bibliography of the first 707 DAW books. And the funny thing about it is when this book came out, I never noticed it because it didn't say anything about really DAW books on it. It's just Future and Fantastic Worlds. I thought it was just another kind of university written book about science fiction, which, okay, maybe I'd at some time pick it up if I wanted to and see if it was something worth reading. The only indication that it's DAW books is just like right up here on the top. It just says the bibliography of DAW books, and it's like I was like, really? So the book should say, you know, what it really is. The title should have been a bibliography of DAW books, DAW science fiction. But it's excellent. It goes through each book, tells the all the information about the books, and some of the back cover blurbs as far as what the story's about. But anyway, so Kenny, through his YouTube channel, has caused me to have a better appreciation of these DAW books, which were so prevalent when I was younger, and I had so many of them, and which you know, really kind of appreciate the yellow spines. I always liked the books with the yellow spines, and I always liked them. But it just, at some point I just said, I can't collect them all. It's just too many. And then there's, of course, the 707. The ones with the yellow spines, and then after that, they changed the whole kind of design of the books. They got rid of the book number, they got rid of the yellow spines, and they still published a lot of great books, but they're almost indistinguishable from every other publisher. And when they had the yellow spines with the collector numbers on them, they weren't just indistinguishable. They were very unique, and they stood out, and they still stand out today. And they have great cover art, great stories, great adventures, pulp-inspired series within series. And so I'm just going to go through and show a few of these. I mentioned the Dre Prescott books. This is Mask of Scorpio, number 31. And this is from 1984, Richard Hescott's cover. A Life for Kragen is number 19. And this is also 1979, also Richard Hescott's. So you had this, the Dre Prescott series, which was, it's kind of weird because the books were written by Ken Bulmer, a British science fiction writer. And originally they were written as under his pseudonym Alan Burt Akers, and Dre Prescott was the hero that Akers was writing about. So then eventually it morphed into this thing where they got rid of Akers, and it's just Dre Prescott is the author now. And then here you see the DAW number down here, 576, 335. Another author, E.C. Tubb, the Dumorous series. This is number 348, Web of Sand, number 20 in the Dumorous series.
While we look at this, why don't you close the window real quick? Because okay. They're, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but they are
let me close the window real quick.
Weed whacking. The gardeners are working outside, and it's a distraction to me. I don't want it to be a distraction.
Chaos. It's hard enough for me to keep my mind on what I'm doing. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. And then the another one is Prison of Night, Dumorous number 17. These have Don Mates covers. He's just terrific. He's just a magnificent cover artist, one of the best. Hescox, Mates, Whalen. I mean, there's so many good artists. Kelly Freas did a lot of covers on DAW books, and there's 31 of these in this series. Really nice one by Tanith Lee, Tamastrara, or Indian Nights, Indian-inspired science fiction, also Don Mates. Number 564, Shape Changers. This is book 1 of the Shea Sully Chronicles. There's a lot of books, you know, series within the DAW book series. So this is book 1 of this series. This is book 17 and 20 of the Tubb series, Dumorous. So there's like a lot of series within the series. Robert Laurie, good horror writer. This is number 95, Infinity 7, about a guy named Seven, and in a future world. It's a good story.
Identity 7.
Identity, yes, identity, yeah. Looks like infinity from here, from upside down. But that's because my world is upside down. In the science fictional context, Piers Anthony, Triple Detent. I think this is the only book that he did for DAW. I'm not sure, but it's 118. And I believe that's Jack Vaughan cover. H.R. Van Dongen did a lot of covers. There's a lot of Jack Vance books in the DAW series that are just excellent. And I collected all of those, and I had them all. I have very few of them now because of Hurricane Sandy. The next one is Dre Prescott, number 26, Allies of Antares. Cover art by Clyde Caldwell. Clyde Caldwell did a lot of comic books, underground comics and stuff early on. And he did some nice cover art. Another Tanith Lee. Victoria Poyser, Sung in Shadow, Tanith Lee. John Brunner. Jack Vaughan, 1972, DAW number 26. John Brunner was another guy who, British science fiction writer who did a lot of, he did some great novels, Stand on Zanzibar and The Sheep Look Up, which were excellent. And he did a lot of books for Ace Books, which was basically the predecessor of DAW. You know, Allheim was the editor of Ace Books and Ace Doubles, and he bought a lot of the books from John Brunner and a lot of people to publish as Ace Books in the Ace Double series. And what happened later on was when DAW came out, Brunner had a lot of his books from Ace reprinted, or he expanded on them, and they were reprinted with new titles. Year's Best Fantasy Stories by edited by Lynn Carter. It's a 1980 Josh Kirby cover. I did not collect these. I did not collect the best fantasy stories, best science fiction stories, the best horror stories, any of the anthologies, basically. Basically, I didn't do that because I didn't have the money then to buy a lot of books. I mean, these books were, it was $1.95 at that time. This is number 410. And I wanted to buy books that were novels or collections of stories by authors that I really liked, like Jack Vance or John Brunner or various other people. It's just a personal preference, a kind of thing. I bought science fiction magazines, but anthologies and paperback seemed to be like a magazine that shouldn't have been a magazine, and it should have been a magazine. And but I did like author collections and paperbacks, so it's just a preference. Testament 21, DAW number 64. Another Tanith Lee, Red as Blood. This is cover art by Michael Whalen. Michael Whalen did a lot of great covers for DAW. Andre Norton was a person who had a lot of books published in DAW. The first DAW book was number 1 was by Andre Norton, and this is number 304, The Earth Burden, Jack Vaughan. I have a couple of the world's best, 1972 world's best science fiction. This is number 5. And this is number 192 from 1976.
Somebody who doesn't collect them, you should have a lot of them.
Well, I've picked up a few over the years since Hurricane Sandy. So these are some books that they've come my way and I picked up. But I don't particularly collect these. I do collect others in the DAW series. I have them in my science fiction, small science fiction bookcase.
Small is a relative term.
Well, it was small. Compared to what it was a whole huge thing.
Smaller.
DAW number 139 is The Big Black Mark by A. Bertram Chandler. Kelly Freas cover. This was a really good book. This is John Grimes kind of really great space opera, Mutiny on a Starship. Really good book. Great series. This is also a series. I believe this is the first book in the series. Another Rebel of Antares, Dre Prescott book, number 24. This is Ken Kelly. Ken Kelly did a lot of great covers. He did a lot of kind of sword and sorcery. He was very in the, a little more, I don't know how you say, not as soft as Frazetta, although, you know, you say that Frazetta's lines were soft. His more, a little more harsh, but he was definitely in the Frazetta mold. I think he was a student of Frazetta. He did a lot of great covers. Dre Prescott 7, Arena of Antares, with cover art by Jack Gaughan. That's number 129. Mazes of Scorpio, that's in the Dre Prescott series, number 27, number 487. Dre Prescott 22. I have a lot of these. These are duplicates because I do collect the Dre Prescott books, the series, and I like them. I read most of them and I enjoyed them. Number 382, A Victory for Kragan. Michael Bishop, Beneath the Shattered Moons, number 246. And this is a cover by H.R. Van Dongen. He signed it over here. He was a, H.R. Van Dongen did a lot of great covers for, he did some for DAW, he did a lot of covers for Ballantine, and he did a lot of covers for Astounding Science Fiction and other science fiction, and even some crime magazines in the 50s and 60s. Michael Whalen, this is Tanith Lee and Anacree, an epic companion novel to the Storm Lord, which I have not read these. So this is number 548, Michael Whalen cover. Brian Stapleford, The Halcyon Drift, number 32. He's a good science fiction author and a very good science fiction researcher. Wrote so many articles on science fiction. A.E. Van Voigt, Computer World, number 554. And this is a Michael Mariano cover. It's not a cover that I would have thought would be on that A.E. Van Voigt book. Van Voigt was really good. He's terrific. The War Against the Roll, The Slan, and a whole bunch of other books that he had written are really good. He was at one time probably one of the greatest science fiction writers ever, and then he got involved in Scientology, and that kind of slowed him down. And the next series, or the next group of books, is just a few. These again are dupes because I have the Cap Kennedy series. I'll probably do a whole thing on them at one point, but these were Cap Kennedy, they were numbered. This is number 4, The Enemy Within the Skull. So they were by Gregory Kern, who was E.C. Tubb, and they had the DAW. The funny thing about these, they had black spines. I don't know why. They were published during the time when the DAW books all had yellow spines, but on these books they had black spines, and they had the number on the book. Not here. They have the UT 1093 book number, which is not the collector book number. I don't know if there's a collector book number inside. I don't think so. No, there isn't. This is from 1974, paperback original. So that's number 4. This is a good kind of series. It's kind of like very much like Captain Future. The Jewel of Jaren, number 5. Secret Agent of the Spaceways. I believe the covers are all by Jack Gaughan. Yeah, this is 1974. The Golden Gate. And number 8, The Eater of Worlds. This is not by Gaughan. It is by Gone. It doesn't look like it. It's by Jack Gone, number 8. There's a lot of interesting books in the DAW series. I haven't really touched on any of them. There's the Amaro books, the 2 books that were one of them came out as a black imitation of Tarzan, and there was copyright problems, and the book had to have certain references to Tarzan taken out of that. And I think I've done a video, mentioned that in one of my earlier videos, and some of the other things. But thank you, Kenny, for awakening my appreciation in DAW yellow spine paperbacks. I think they're pretty cool. And this book by Sheldon Jaffrey is a very good bibliography. Has a lot of information, but it only goes up to 707. So I believe that the yellow spines continued up into the 580s or so before they were done away with. But this is a terrific book, loaded with information on each book, and there's a lot of information about the artists and the series. So it's an essential book. I cannot believe that they just a bibliographic retrospective of DAW books, 1972 to 1987, this 15-year anniversary. This book came out. That should have been the whole title, and it should have shown that so that people could. I remember when this book came out, and I says, "Nah, this is." I just didn't believe that it was about DAW books, and I recently found a copy, and I was looking through it, and I says, where is it with this book? And it's like came out in hardcover and paperback. It seems to be, I think, pretty scarce now. Maybe all DAW collectors have copies of them, but it's a good book. Too bad there's not I don't know if there's a more recent edition of this that goes farther than the 707 that are listed in this book. There should be. But DAW book with yellow spines. They're fun, they're interesting, and there's a lot of great writing. There's a lot of great cover art and series in this series of books. And Donald A. Wollheim really knew what he was doing when he said he was going to start a new publishing company. And he was going to set it up for science fiction collectors, and he did. And it's to this day he proved right. So I hope you enjoyed this look, and we're going to have information on Kenny's website listed in the description also, so that you can check out his great information on DAW books, because I consider him a DAW expert, and he's a fine fellow and a sterling gentleman. And you'll enjoy watching him and listening to him. So with that, I say give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for looking.